when I was 8, I had this next door neighbor, and he was 6. I didn't have video games. I wasn't allowed to have video games. I just had toys at the time. I had Lego. I like to play with Lego a lot. And at the time, I didn't really have anyone to really hang out with other than like my friends at school. And so summer vacations were basically like kind of boring unless I was doing something with somebody. And I met my next door neighbor, and we ended up hanging out because we weren't that far apart in age. And he was really into Hot Wheels. He had a lot of Hot Wheels. I didn't have any Hot Wheels at the time. He really got me into Hot Wheels. And I remember we would go play in his backyard, and he mostly had Hot Wheels tracks, like the long tracks. It wasn't anything like any fancy Hot Wheels sets. They were just kind of like the basic run of the mill Hot Wheels tracks. You know, like you can buy like the 1 foot long plastic track and they connect together. And so he had this staircase that came out of the back door of his house that walked down to the ground, and we would set up all the Hot Wheels tracks and connect them all together, and then we'd build these tracks that would go from the start of a staircase, and the car would run down and go up like jumps and twists and turns, and we could try to see how far we can make it to the end of the yard. And after I got to know him for a bit, he invited me into his house, and he had a Nintendo 64. And I remember he had a lot of N64 games. Like, it was crazy how big his library was. For a 6-year-old, I was impressed. I think his dad might have been more interested in video games than he was. Might have been why he had so many. But I think he had like a bucket of N64 games. And when I say a bucket, I mean like the size of one of those like Rubbermaid buckets you can buy. It was crazy how many games he had. But one of them was the N64 Hot Wheels game. And I remember like he got me so much into this world of Hot Wheels. And then I remember playing this game on his television. I think it was just the coolest thing ever that you could like play a racing Hot Wheels game. Like you could drive the car, there was the track, you could go up jumps, you could make the car flip. It was so cool. It was so cool. And I remember going over to his place and loving it, like every minute of it, playing that game with him. And we played a lot of other N64 games too, but yeah, the Hot Wheels, N64 Hot Wheels just kind of hit different. And I remember there was at the time, like this was, oh man, this is around like 2005, 2007, I think. I'm ballparking the year. There was a game that came out on the internet, which was a Hot Wheels game. And I don't know the name of it. I'm going to have to do some Google searching after I record this video. But it was, I think it was like Hot Wheels World Racing or something like that. And I remember, I think you needed to download, it might have been Shockwave Player to play the game. There was some way to get the game, and I can't quite remember how to get it. But I remember his computer could run it, and my computer could not. My computer was like bogus. At the time, it did not run games very well. And he got it installed, and we were playing it on his computer. And from what I remember, like the game was super fun, but I think it got canceled or like something happened and you couldn't play the video game anymore. I don't know what happened to that game. I'm going to have to go doing some digging around to find out. I just remember it was like the next big version of like a Hot Wheels game. Like there was more, I think they had like loops you could do, and like the tracks were just even cooler than the N64 version. It's kind of fun, like taking that trip back in your mind to those places or moments in your life where you enjoyed something a lot? Like you were really obsessed about some toy when you were a kid, or game, or some moment in time that it was just really cool. Like you could remember the excitement you had as a kid about that thing, and then sharing that with somebody else, that experience. Even though I don't know what happened to my friend and we moved away and, things changed, I hope he's doing good. I don't, it'd be hard to find and reach out now, but it's kind of funny how like people can come and go out of your life, and you can look back on these memories and feel a lot of gratitude for having experienced them. I mean, nostalgia can be such a trip, but there's just something that feels special about that moment because it was unique to you. Like you were the only one who felt it with that person, that experience. Like, not that other people haven't had similar experiences. They have, and they have their own unique pocket in memory of those, which I also think is awesome. I think there's something pretty fantastic about sharing those, because even though things were probably not perfect at that time in other ways with whatever else was going on in your life in that time, there was still happiness and joy that you could find in some day-to-day moments, especially as a kid when everything in the world is new and exciting, and like you're learning things and experiencing and discovering things that are like super exciting to you. I think that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool feeling. I remember I really, really wanted this Hot Wheels set, which was the Hot Wheels Fireball set. It was like this, it was a circular track, like spherical. It was a sphere, and like the cars had boosters on the bottom, and they would like fly around in the sphere, and then they would crash into each other. I wanted it so bad, but it was pretty expensive at the time, and my parents were like, "You're gonna play with this for like maybe an hour, and then you're gonna never touch it again." And I'm like, no, I'm gonna play with this for the rest of my life. I know it for sure. And they're like, no, you're not. I that did not deter me. I wanted it so bad, but I gotta hand it to my parents. They knew better. Like, honestly, looking back on it now, I probably would have only played with it for 10 minutes and be like, okay, I'm bored now. Like, it was marketed so well on TV. I remember seeing the commercial for this toy over and over and over again. The Hot Wheels Fireball. Like, it was like the biggest, best Hot Wheels toy that money could buy. But it literally was a self-contained toy. Like, you couldn't, like, there wasn't anything else to do with the Fireball. Like, once you've seen the cars crash enough times, you're going to be like, okay, I'm bored with this now. Like, my parents were probably bored looking at the commercial thinking, like, there's no way he's going to be entertained with this toy for more than an hour. We're not buying this for him. And I actually really appreciate that now looking back, because like I ended up getting toys where I could be way more creative, like Lego. Like, you can just take a bucket of Legos and it's an indefinite amount of things you can make. And like Hot Wheels tracks, the ones that you could like stick together and then, like start like a giant track from the top of your house all the way to the basement. Like, that was a good toy. But like the Hot Wheels Fireball, as cool as it was as a kid, I don't think it held up. I'm sure some people had this toy. Maybe they loved it. If you owned this toy, please let me know your experience with this toy in the comments below. I would love to hear if you got more than an hour's worth of fun out of that toy when you were a kid. Very interested to know. Because if so, I definitely feel ripped off, and I might go buy that toy as an adult and play with it. But yeah, Hot Wheels, man. It just, to this day, I still love Hot Wheels. I think it's one of the coolest franchises there is. I even like, I haven't played the new Hot Wheels games. I actually, talking about this now makes me want to go buy it and play one of the new Hot Wheels games because I really love Hot Wheels. But maybe I should just go buy some tracks and set some up in my house. Like, man, what better things can you do with your life? Like Hot Wheels, man. Like, come on, let's go. Anyway, this was kind of a fun trip back to the past. So thanks for tuning in. Catch you in the next one.